I'm Salvatore Babones, and I'm here to talk about Australia-China relations. You may remember the big story last week about the self-proclaimed Chinese spy, Wang Liqiang, who has claimed asylum in Australia. Of course, there's huge TV coverage and documentary by 9 News and all of that about it. Now, Brad Norrington of The Australian is reporting that Australia's spy agencies are wary of giving him asylum in Australia. They're concerned that his story may be all made up. Now, look, he's only a 27-year-old kid. He was posted to Taiwan. I don't know how much he may have spun or had spun out of him by the media about what he may have been doing, but I see no reason to doubt that he actually was involved in spying in Taiwan. Even if he wasn't, even if it's all made up, he still has a claim for asylum in Australia. Now, Andrew Hastie of the Parliamentary Intelligence Committee is calling for him to be offered asylum, and that should be enough for most people. But even regardless of that, the point of asylum is to give protection to people who will face persecution for their political views if they go back to their home country. We've all come to think of asylum as somehow being a system for, people who are poor and facing bad conditions in their countries of origin to come to Australia just because lots of people are willing to get on boats and come from Africa to Europe, or willing to cross the US border, or willing to come on boats from places like Southeast Asia to Australia. But the whole purpose of the asylum system was never to let poor people find asylum in rich countries. If that were the purpose, nearly the entire populations of India and Africa would have a claim to asylum in Australia. Australia opened the doors, 2 billion people are coming in. Now, there's nothing wrong with offering entry to Australia to poor people from other countries, but the purpose of the asylum system was for political refugees. And whatever the truth of Wang Liqiang's testimony about his actions on behalf of the Chinese government and his validity as a defecting spy, the fact is that for political reasons, he can no longer go back to China. He would face severe political persecution if he went back to China now. So even if it does encourage people to game the asylum system by pretending to be spies, and I don't think there's going to be a big epidemic of that, the fact is, right now, whatever Wang Liqiang's story and whatever the truth of it, the fact is that he can claim political asylum in Australia, and he should be granted political asylum in Australia, because the whole purpose of the international asylum system is to give people a home who can't go back to their own home because of their political and certain other protected views. Look, I think Australia probably has a lot to learn from Wang Liqiang. Even if he's a low-level person in the Chinese bureaucracy, still, there's something to be gotten from that. But even if there's not, asylum is not about the political value of the person claiming asylum. It's about the threat that person faces in his or her own home country. And Wang Liqiang certainly faces some threats if he goes home now.